Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Today, we have a fun but exhausting show as we talk with Amanda from North Carolina about her Parkology challenge, where she goes with her daughter and a couple of friends who are Disney experts, and they attempt to ride every ride at all 4 theme parks that are operational in one day this past summer. So the rule was, it's called the Parkology Challenge. If it moves, they have to ride it. So they came up with a strategy. We talk about that. We talk about why they picked the day they did, why they went in the order of the 4 parks they went, and how they did. They did 42 out of 49 attractions, I believe it was. You might have to fact check me on that during the show. But hear about why they made the choices they did, where they had to cut a couple of attractions here and there, and all the ins and outs of this epic journey and how you might attempt to do this as well. But you're going to get some great theme park touring strategies on today's show for sure. It's a lot of fun. We also talk some Run Disney at the end as well. Some great advice for first-time runners. Don't forget, today's podcast brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We're standing by this week to help you plan epic Disney vacations, and the best part, no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link as you do that holiday shopping. Please bookmark our link and put it up there in your toolbar so you can click through it every time you do that online shopping. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys keep us on the air, so a huge thank you to each and every one of you. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd sure love to have you. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2794 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you and happy Veterans Day to all of our folks who have served our country in the military and their families as well. You are the best among us. We appreciate you so very much. You've served and you keep our country the greatest in the world, and you allow us the freedoms to do things like talk about Disney and to enjoy just a great way of life here in the United States. And just on behalf of all of us here at the Be Our Guest Podcast, thank you so very much for your service, your patriotism, and for just thinking beyond yourself and serving all of us here to give us a better way of life. We truly, truly do appreciate all of our veterans and hope you enjoy your Veterans Day today. You are appreciated. All right, today, trip report. Now, going to warn you on this one. This one is an active one. It's not like a 2-week long like a European style where we're going to break down 14 days, at like Mohawk or Alex or something at Riverside. Nope. This one's going to be it's going to be brief, but it is going to be intense. We're going to dive in. It's going to be awesome. I love how we have variety in our trip reports. Today, we're going to be talking with Amanda from North Carolina. Amanda, thanks for coming on the show. Happy Monday. How you doing?
Good. I'm so happy to be here. I love the show. I've been listening for a long time. So yeah, really excited.
I'm super excited to have you on the show because, like I said, I love having different kinds of shows because we have all kinds of cruise, sometimes Disneyland, sometimes, like I said, these European vacations. I swear, they take up residence, and I love that for them because I want to do that someday. Sometimes I feel like I got to move to Europe so I can come back and do that myself. Right. And this one's going to be, we'll get to that in a second, but let's get to know you a little bit better. So I like to ask people lately, I don't know, it's just because I like to get to know our listeners a little better. So you're from North Carolina. So tell us something maybe about your little corner of the world, maybe that you're known for that people might not know. Like what's something maybe that you guys are proud of for your corner of the world?
Wow. Okay. People probably know this, but barbecue is big in our area, but it's a certain kind of barbecue. Maybe. And I'll be honest, I don't actually eat the barbecue, but my parents love it. My husband loves it. I couldn't tell you if we're the vinegar barbecue or the other one, but so that's a big thing. And then North Carolina college sports are big. Duke and Carolina. My kids, my older two went to NC State, so I think we're kind of known for some good ACC sports.
Yes. Well, my cousin, now this is in NC State, this is North Carolina, but back in the day, probably 10, 15 years ago, my cousins were really good friends with the Hansboroughs. Uh,
Wow.
Tyler Hansborough that played for, North Carolina because he was from Poplar Bluff where my family's from, and they were good friends with him. He was quite the basketball player, but that was, North Carolina
Yeah.
Tar Heels. So yes, I used to root
Yeah.
for them back in the days. I know the Duke fans are probably like, I hate you. I'm not listening to the podcast anymore. Sorry. He was from
Yeah.
Missouri. Yeah. So yeah.
NC State doesn't always make the news, but my son was a freshman in the band 2 years ago when they made their Final Four run,
Yes.
and it was amazing, and we were so excited for them to beat Duke and Carolina.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was gonna say. They had quite the run last year or a
yeah,
couple of years ago. Final Four. They were rolling. They just they couldn't because they didn't have a great regular season. But man,
no,
it just shows like that's what as a Mizzou fan, that's like my dream. You know what? Like your
yeah,
average team gets hot at the right time and just rolls all the way. Like oh god, come on Tigers, let's go. It's like that's the underdog story. So let me get a little background on you for Disney. Like, how did the Disney fandom start for you? How long have you been a Disney fan?
I think I've been a Disney fan probably for sure since college. My parents took us twice when we were little. Um, and then when I was in college, uh, our junior year, my husband and I, he was just fiance at the time, but we decided to go to Disney on our college spring break. Um, and and kind of fell in love with it. We went back a couple more times before we had kids, and then once we had kids, it was all over. It was just our favorite place to be. Being in North Carolina kind of makes it easy. We can drive most of the time. It's not too bad. So, yeah.
Do you remember though? Like so for example, with me, like I remember one time pulling up to French Quarter at night, like staying there, and I just remember I guess it's called the porte cochere, which I learned, or just like the overhang, where you drive under with your car, get dropped. I got dropped off by I think it was like a town car or something that I didn't know what was going on back then. I wasn't a podcaster. I wasn't a travel agent. I was just a guy that had a Burn Bombs guide that I had, gotten from the library. I hadn't even bought it at that point.
Right.
And I, rented a town car this was before Uber and all that stuff. And, dropped me off at the French Quarter. And I just remember I was sold right then because it had all those little white light bulbs and, you got out and there was a water fountain right there in the lobby. And, there was the food court right there. And there was all this wrought iron where you checked in. I'm like, this place is unbelievable. And there's jazz music playing when I went through the doors. Like, oh my God, I'm in a different world. Like I hadn't even gone to the theme parks yet. Like this was at 10 o'clock at night. I was like, I can't believe this place. That was kind of like my moment that I was sold on Walt Disney. Do you remember kind of in those early trips, maybe a moment or two that kind of, you were just like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah, I think so. We had actually never stayed on property before until we had kids, and our very first property was Pop Century, and it was just my youngest wasn't born, so it was my daughter when she was 3, and my middle son was 18 months, and I think we had the whole matching Minnie Mouse dress for her, little Mickey Mouse suit thing for him, and we went to Chef Mickey's, and just their engagement with the characters and their excitement. I think that's the moment we were sold. Okay, these are the best memories. And then as we had our youngest and kind of grew out of Pop Century because it doesn't really fit 5, then we moved to Riverside, and Riverside is a beautiful resort. So I think it was just the memories when they were so little and their interactions with all the characters, and not even so much about the rides. They actually weren't big ride fans, especially the thrill rides until later on. But it was just the characters, and that really.
It's almost like that, the stuff you see in back in, I hate to say this, we've been doing the show for, it'll be 19 years in the spring, but when we started the show, we always talked about those DVDs. You get the planning DVDs and,
Yes.
the commercials and stuff. Like you see those moments, the small moments of, like you said, the characters of Chef Mickey's interacting with the kids, and they still show these. Actually, I see these commercials during football. They've been marketing them during football games. Like this, that click, like what's your click, and it shows Tiana clicking her pin because it's associating that with clicking your mouse to get your planning started for your next Disney vacation. Seatbelt click and close on Cali River Rapids and so forth. But, when you get there, you do many times kind of get that moment with your kid and you're just like, oh, this is why I come. Like you say, like at Chef Mickey's, Donald Duck's playing with your child, your child reaches out to grab Donald Duck by
Yes,
the nose and like you get that picture and it's like, oh, this is why I'm here. It's why I saved up to
absolutely.
come. Yeah.
We also loved the fireworks shows when they were little. Like the kids were just amazed by the fireworks shows and I think it back then it was Spectrum Magic over there then, or the electrical light. One of the parades, the nighttime parades. They just loved all of that stuff. So
Oh, Spectrum Magic. I have a shirt.
yeah,
I have a shirt that says Spectrum Magic. The poor shirt's almost wore out because I just like I don't wear it as much anymore. Like it's only busted out on special occasions because it's almost ready to fall apart. But oh, I love that parade. It was just those crazy clown kind of people that kind of scared me, but they were awesome. The trumpeters. I couldn't tell if I loved them or if I was scared to death of them. Kind of both. All right, so let's jump into what we're going to talk about tonight. So this is going to be fun because you kind of went down to do a challenge, but it sounds like in the pre-show we were talking a little before we started recording. This was kind of a redo or you're looking at it again to kind of correct something there or try to see if you could improve upon a previous
yeah,
attempt. So
do it better.
yeah, okay. So give us the background on this whole challenge that you were taking on.
So a few years ago, I maybe read somewhere, maybe on Facebook, about this challenge called the Parkology Challenge. And I know the 4-part challenge exists, but this particular challenge took it a step further. It was try to ride every single operating ride in a day at Disney, including basically it was anything that moved. So we had to include Carousel Progress. On our first attempt, we had to do the Tom Sawyer Island rafts. We had to do Liberty Boat. It was anything that moved. So our first attempt, we went down there. We had a great plan. I think at that day there were about 52 rides that were open and operating, and we got 37 accomplished. And so after that, it was just a lot of fun. We go enough being in North Carolina that we can kind of do something like that. And so we were ready to replan and try to see if we could get more than 37 rides done in a day. And funny enough, as soon as they announced that Tom Sawyer rafts and the Liberty Boat were closing, we planned it for the very next day after they closed.
So no,
Because
was that intentional? Like, oh, hey, I mean, you like I was fired up. Like I'm like, oh man, I hate the Tom Sawyer odds going away. You're like, that's two things. It's a little bit easier today.
right. Well, yes, we love those things. We really loved them when the kids were little, but in this challenge, they both take a
Yes,
long time,
I
and so
know.
we're really excited for them to
That's
close.
interesting. Because you know what,
Sorry.
I'm super competitive, so I'd be like, dude, this just got like
Yep.
6% easier. I'd be like,
Well,
yes,
and test
yeah.
test track was still down also, so it was good.
That's crazy, It's like the theme park gods are smiling on us while everybody else is protesting. Everybody else is chaining themselves to the Liberty Bell. Yes.
Right.
No, get out of the way. We're gonna make this happen. Okay, so a lot of questions on this. Okay, so first, like, who was your crew, and like, how? Also, something like this is all about logistics, I would think. Because
Absolutely.
it's about strategy. Because it's more than just showing up. Because you got to just, I mean, it's all 4 parks. So it's going to be it's going to be a ton of logistics. Like you got to decide where you're going to go first and how you're going to get there. And like, you got to navigate the system. You got to get around. You got to eat throughout the day in an efficient manner. So who's your crew, and like, how do you come up with a plan, and what was the planning like? Cause this is the kind of stuff I like to hear about.
Yeah. Okay. So the crew was myself and my daughter, and then two of my daughter's best friends. So my daughter's 2 best friends are Disney fans also, and they have gone with us a couple of times to Disney. One of them's in the college program right now, and so when I heard about the idea, my daughter was all in. Her friends, she told her friends, they were all in. So then the planning. So the first year we did it, we knew that we needed to stay close to Magic Kingdom because getting in and out of Magic Kingdom is the hardest with Ticket and Transportation Center. And so we stayed at Grand Floridian. But we realized getting from Magic Kingdom back to Grand Floridian is still a little bit time consuming. So when I was planning it this time, I was like, no, it's got to be Bay Lake Tower because you can walk and you can walk really quickly. We don't have to, I mean, you can walk to Grand Floridian, but it takes a bit. So that was the key this time is let's stay at Bay Lake Tower. We've never been there. Luckily, we're DVC members. So we can kind of play around and book those kind of resorts if something comes up last minute. So that was kind of the key, staying there so that we could walk to and from Magic Kingdom really quickly. And then we actually decided to drive to the parks, the other parks and park, but I got preferred parking so we could park right up close. So we never waited on any kind of Disney transportation. We walked to Magic Kingdom from Bay Lake and back, and then I drove and parked us up close. So that was kind of the main beginning of the plan. Like, let's see what kind of transportation, how can we do this better than last time?
I love your level of commitment on this already. Like, this is next level. I mean, I didn't know like you're going to go this far in, but I love it. Like I mean, you are definitely booking like the closest hotel. I mean, dead on. I mean, the difference between the Grand Floridian walk and the Bay Lake Tower walk is probably 5 minutes, but man, I like, that's a level of commitment. That's great. That's amazing.
Every second.
I love it. No, this is why I'm glad we're talking about this is my jam. And then I love that you're thinking about like, we're just driving, that we're taking because what you're doing is you're taking out the variables, right? Because you could have a 5-minute wait for a bus, you could have a 30-minute wait, and that could shoot you in the foot later on in the day. That things escalate. So I like that. Okay, so but as far as and you have experts with you, and you've done this before, so you kind of know like, oh man, this was a pitfall last time. Maybe we didn't expect this happened. I mean, that experience is always a great teacher. So what did you guys did you guys collaborate before this day? Like through, like, what did you do? Like, did you guys meet in person? Did you have group chats, that kind of stuff? What'd you do?
Yeah. So the girls let me take over the planning, which is great because I love it. But we did meet in person, and I got this, like, you probably know this from being a teacher, but the big like poster paper that teachers use to write on and make anchor charts.
My whole life. So I had the big poster. I had the Post-it note stuff, the fancy stuff. Yes. Sometimes right there. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Right. So I had one of those big things, and I really love maximizing the lightning lane, the multi-pass. And so I got this big poster paper, and for probably a couple of weeks before, I'm looking on the Disney app, and I am looking at when lightning lanes are available, when they sell out. There's a website that I use to, am I allowed to say the name?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. I mean, everyone wants to try this. Let's give everybody the best shot possible.
Right. So there's a website called Thrill Data, and you can see when like lightning lanes pop up during the day that have previously been sold out. So like for weeks, I'm because it's the summer and I'm off of work. And so what else am I going to do? I'm a teacher. So I was just studying the app to see when rides would open up on the lightning lane multi-passes. So on this big sheet of paper, we basically had all 4 parks and the order in which would be the quickest to do the rides, what we needed to get our lightning lanes for, what will pop up later that we could wait on. Like, we didn't book Slinky Dog in advance because I knew from the Thrill Data site that it would pop up probably about 1:30 on the day we were doing the challenge. And sure enough, it did. And that's how I was able to get Slinky. So we had it all mapped out when we were in person. Absolutely.
So I have to ask you, what do you teach?
I teach 7th grade math.
See, this is so, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Because I'm a former teacher, right? I taught 6th grade for 17 years. This is so perfect. I mean, I gotta laugh because I'm surrounded by teachers my whole life. My wife taught for 28 years and she's subbing still now. Like she subbed today. And this is just killing me because my whole life I'm surrounded by teachers, and you are so like, I'm like, this is such a teacher thing. Like the way you like laying it out with chart paper, you probably had different colored markers. I'm picturing it all. 100%. All she needs like the yarn and the push pins and everything. Oh my gosh, this is cracking me up. This is so perfect for a teacher in the summer, especially a 7th grade math teacher. I mean, this should be something like this is like a performance event in your class at the end of the year.
Data and analyzing. Great.
This is so good. Oh God, I hope all the other teachers are getting as big of a kick out of this as I am. Okay, so I'm about to lose it. So I love though that you're diving so deep into like statistically looking into where, like the times the lightning lanes are going to fall, like so you're not like, wasting them and using them at the right times. Um, so let's hop into it. So also kind of one of the things you got to make sure though, for like something like this is that, I mean, it's going to be a long day. So how do you prepare yourselves for, I mean, the practical things? Like, I mean, it's a lot of time on your feet. I don't know how many like steps you got in throughout the day, but I mean, things like that. I mean, how'd you make sure you guys were comfortable? Was the weather good this day? I mean, cause it was in the summer,
Yeah.
like what was that like?
We actually got really lucky with the weather because the next week in Florida, I mean, it's always hot in Florida in the summer for sure, but it got even hotter. And so I felt like this day, it rained a little bit in the middle of the day, but it actually wasn't a downpour. It was enough to close some of the rides at Magic Kingdom. That kind of cost us a little bit of time, but it wasn't bad. And it was enough to kind of cool it off. And so it really wasn't too hot. We did kind of carb load a little bit the night before. We just ate at the Contemporary Food Court, and I think we had like their flatbread pizzas or something. But we definitely made sure we ate some good food. Since I was driving, we took like water bottles and like granola bars in the car,
That's
and
a
we
good
would
idea.
eat in between going to the parks. We did eat a little bit during the day in the park, but it was like grab a snack and walk to the next thing. So, um, yeah.
I like that though. The car is a great resource to kind of have like as your little moving base camp. Like
Mhm.
we need water.
Right.
Okay, we'll get it when we get back into the car. Like stash some Rice Krispie treats or granola bars and yeah,
Yes.
exactly, some fuel. Okay, so let's dive into it. Okay, so now people are probably curious, like, okay, how? So you didn't or did you? I thought I saw that you guys started out at Animal Kingdom, but you're at Bay
Yes.
Lake. Okay, so I'm
So
confused here. Okay, go ahead.
okay, so we did start at Animal Kingdom because we wanted to utilize, they opened the earliest for extra magic hours. So we started there. I think they opened that morning at 7:30, and we wanted to be, we always, both times, we tried to be the first in line to get on Flight of Passage because I didn't want to waste a individual lightning lane for Flight of Passage. We needed it for some of the Magic Kingdom rides. So we were there at 6:15. I think we were the third car in line. We couldn't
Mhm.
even park yet. So, but no matter what, even though we were the third car in line, we were not the third to get on Flight of Passage, and we're walking fast, but we did get it on. We did get on there pretty fast. So initially, our plan was to do Flight of Passage, and then Navi River Journey, and then leave Animal Kingdom, go to Magic Kingdom, ride everything in Magic Kingdom, go back to Animal Kingdom, and finish,
Hmm.
then go to Hollywood Studios. However, um, Flight of Passage took a little longer than we anticipated. It just really, even though we were there so early, it just really depends on how the crowd is kind of filtering together, and then how fast people are moving in the line. So we felt like we don't have time to get on Navi yet. We really wanted to get to Magic Kingdom for their early opening at 8:30. So we left Animal Kingdom, trying to get to Magic Kingdom at 8:30, and we thought we had it planned perfectly because we could park at Bay Lake. That was the key. It wasn't even about staying at Bay Lake. We just needed to be able to park there so we could walk to and from Magic Kingdom. Well, super weird traffic situation we ran into that I've never experienced before cost us about 30
Oh
minutes.
God, you're
And
stressing me out already. I'm like, I'm getting sweat just so I can see the traffic like by the Contemporary on this skinny road.
yeah, it was just so weird. But anyway, so we made it to Bay Lake about 20, 30 minutes past when we wanted to. But then we ran pretty fast over to Magic Kingdom. We still got there. I think we were on um we had wanted to get there for early opening and get Astro Orbiter out of the way because that gets busy, and I didn't have the plan for the fast pass for that one, or the lightning lane, sorry. So we got there around 8:50, and we ran right to Tiana's and rode it rope drop like as soon as it opened, because it doesn't open for early hours, and that worked so well. Getting to Tiana's right at 9, riding it, and then we had a burner lightning lane for the magic carpet. So we rode that really quick after Tiana so that I could open up another lightning lane to book. And then we did Pirates really quick. We did Jungle Cruise with only a 10-minute wait. So I think within the first 45 minutes, we had Tiana's Jungle Cruise, the carpets, and Pirates out of the way. And then we made our way to Haunted Mansion and got that out of the way pretty fast too. Within an hour, we had all that done. So,
And Jungle Cruise is a good one to get out of the way because that one will stack up. That's a slow one
yes,
later in the day. That one, I mean,
yes.
it's a slow one. It's a
And
tricky slow one too.
it is. And I had pre-booked. So, with the change of the lightning lane system from the previous summer, you could pre-book some things if you were on property. So I had pre-booked the Tron and Mine Train uh, individual lightning lane. And then I had pre-booked Peter Pan, Winnie the Pooh, and then the carpets as the burner one. But as soon as I used that carpet one, I booked Space Mountain immediately because I knew that would be the first to go that day. And then as soon as we rode Peter Pan, I could book Buzz Lightyear. So basically, as soon as we were using a lightning lane, I was booking another lightning lane. So for Magic Kingdom, we really didn't wait for anything. The only thing that slowed us down and made us take a little bit longer to get all the rides done was the rain, closed Astro Orbiter and People Mover and Dumbo. And so we kind of we took I wouldn't say a break, but we were able to walk to Joffrey's. We got a snack. We wasted a little bit of time walking between Dumbo and Astro Orbiter, just kind of biding our time to see which one was going to open the quickest once the rain ended. So, but otherwise, we weren't waiting for anything. I was booking the lightning lane as soon as I used one, and it worked so well.
Which I think this show is going to be great for people, even if they're not doing a challenge like this, but it's just good strategies in how you're going to go about, seeing attractions throughout your day, whether you're just trying to do 7 to 10 to 12 attractions in a day, because, I think a lot of people don't buy individual lightning lane multi-pass for every day of their trip. But when you do buy it for that day, that's a great strategy. You should always, as soon as you use one, get the next one,
Yes.
That's what I do at Disneyland. I mean, I'm just like, as soon as I hit the touch point, boom, I'm looking on there. What can I always make sure that I'm going for the next available because, why not get the maximum value out of that daily purchase?
Right. One of the things I learned just by studying it is that, I like to get multi-pass if I'm hopping at all, because I think then I can really utilize it the best. If I'm just going to one park for the day, particularly if it's Epcot, I feel like, well, I can wait in line. I'll buy my lightning lane for Guardians or something, but otherwise I can kind of wait in line. But if I'm hopping, I think it's a great way to utilize it. And then knowing which rides will have those like special drops during the day and the time they normally drop. I mean, I know that's kind of getting deep into the weeds with it, but it's helpful because we were in Magic Kingdom, and at this point we had already decided that we were going to not go back to Animal Kingdom. Our main goal was to do more than 37 rides in the day, because we had done 37 the first time, and we knew that if we skipped going back to Animal Kingdom, which doesn't have a lot of rides, we would only miss the 5 or 6. We'd already done Flight of Passage, so we could say we were there, but we could get a lot more rides in by skipping it and heading straight to Hollywood Studios. So as soon as I was able to, I started booking rides over at Hollywood Studios. So when we finished Magic Kingdom completely, which I think was about 3:00, we headed to Hollywood Studios, and I had 3 lightning lanes ready to go. And I knew exactly, like, I think we did Tower first. I knew as soon as we did Tower that Toy Story would still be available. So I would get that one. And then, and it just kept going like that. We also, in Hollywood Studios, we knew that Rise of the Resistance most of the time now has single rider, and so we were crossing our fingers that it was open, and that's how we got lucky with Rise of the Resistance and Smuggler's Run. We did both of those single rider. I think we finished Hollywood Studios in right under 3 hours, just did every ride. Wow. And sometimes it could take all day to get, but because we just knew how to kind of the lightning lanes would drop, it worked out.
Yeah, and I will say, speaking of that, those like secondary drop times. If you come over to our clubhouse, the Discord server, Cody is great about explaining all that in our theme park channel. He talks, 'cause usually it's like 1:37 p.m. or 1:13 p.m. Like he has all the times, and so if you ever ask, just drop a message. Cody's our like expert when it comes. He gets so deep in the weeds with that stuff. I love reading it, but I don't always all understand it all. But if you ever, he will hook you up. He'll let you know. Like if you're going and you need to
That's
know this,
great.
it's amazing. So come over to the clubhouse. It's
Yeah. We
beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse.
want to try 3, so I'll have to
He'll let you know, man. He'll be like, dude, he's like 1:13 and 37 seconds. Be ready. I'm like, holy cow, like that's nuts. But he
Yeah.
knows he's awesome, and he's a big Bazoo fan too. Listen, so now, backing up though a little bit. So a couple things. So did you get all the Magic Kingdom done before you went over to the studios?
Yes,
You had?
everything. We
That's
did
crazy.
everything. We were really excited about that because our first attempt, we waited and did Magic Kingdom. Well, we actually went back and forth to Magic Kingdom on our first attempt, and we went back that night because it had extended hours. And this time we planned to go to Epcot last and utilize their extended hours. And so we were adamant we're not leaving Magic Kingdom until every single ride is done. And luckily the rain stopped and we were able to get those few that uh, closed down during the rain. So we stayed, we did every single ride, and then we hopped over to Hollywood.
Were you guys taking like pictures during every attraction if you could, or something like
Oh
documenting this?
yes.
That's I was wondering about this kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely. So part of this official Parkology challenge, to make it official, you have to take a picture on the ride and then you have to post it to Twitter
Hmm.
and you have to tag the Parkology
Nice.
guys. So we were doing that every time, which is really tricky on Flight of Passage because you're not supposed to have
That's
your
true.
phone.
Well, I mean, Disney's actually starting to crack down on that. I think they're doing that for Mickey and
Yes.
Minnie's Runaway Railway too now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was tricky. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was tricky, but we did. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, also the memories you're going to have from, like that,
Oh, yeah.
because I love my Google Photos, say like on this day 9 years ago, and it shows you doing crazy stuff like, oh my gosh, what we're doing.
Yeah.
I wish I had the energy to do that again. But
Hmm.
we'll talk about running here at the end of the show. So, okay, so you go over to I wanted to mention one thing too, because, you got to make that call. You're like, man, we're not going to go back to Animal Kingdom. But when you think about it, like, life's about choices, right? I mean, the attractions that you had left that you would have had to do over at the studio or over at Animal Kingdom, I mean, you would have had to do the safari, right? Because the vehicles, that sucker's going to take forever. Queue
Yep.
and just the attraction itself to go through the safari. I mean, that is a chunk of time. Navi
Yes.
River journey at that point, probably going to take a long time to get on that thing. So, that's one of those things, I guess you had that conversation. Like, I mean, you're the kind of the like ROI on that choice. Like you're going to give up a ton of time for probably 3 or 4 attractions. Is that kind of the conversation you had?
Yes, yes. We knew that if we could get all the rest of the rides in, we would absolutely ride more than 37 rides, even if we skip going back to Animal Kingdom. So part of the conversation, we all were in agreement. Yeah, let's just skip it and head to Hollywood. Yeah.
Was there anything, because I mean, you guys smoked through studios. Was there anything kind of surprising about the studios? It was more challenging or surprising that you expected
Um,
as far as that park?
I think what was surprising about the studios is that it was easier than we anticipate. And the first year was the same way. We always worry that the studios is where we're going to get held up because on other trips, we don't always get lucky in the studios with the lightning lanes or with a ride being down. Um, the first time we did it, Slinky was down and we waited over there for about 30 minutes. And so nothing went down. We didn't wait for anything. I got every lightning lane that I had wanted to get. The studios it was perfect. I think the only thing that could have made it faster for us is if we had been faster at getting from one ride to the next.
Mhm.
It was great.
Well, plus you're not worried about shows, so that helps because
No.
that's out of the
Yes.
equation. Rock and Roller Coaster was down this summer, so that was another thing that was out of the equation
Yes.
because that one kind of comes up and down. That's kind of finicky, so that get good timing. So okay, so you guys finish over at Epcot. So now how's Epcot unfold for the end of the night?
Yeah. So we knew that from research during their extended hours. I think it's the land and um, Figment do not open during extended hours usually. And then I also heard that sometimes Nemo isn't open during extended hours. So our plan was to immediately go to the land when we got there and get it out of the way. It takes a long time to ride that ride. It wouldn't be open later. So we wanted to do the land, Figment, and Nemo, and then head to Remy right as the park was closing and try to get in Remy because that's the one thing I didn't get that day. Remy has a secret drop and it didn't work out. And so we were kind of bummed about that. But so anyway, we got over to Epcot. Preferred parking is great because you're right there. We ran right in. We got on the land, no trouble with the land. We did Figment. I don't remember exactly why, but we skipped Nemo at that time. I think I had read it would be open during extended hours. So we're like, let's just skip it and go straight to Remy. Remy held us up a little bit. We were able to utilize single rider line, so we didn't have to wait in standby, but it still probably took a 20 to 25 minute wait. I'd say Remy was probably our longest wait of the night, except for Guardians, but we did that the very last ride, and so we didn't care how long we waited at that point because we were done. So we had wanted to get off Remy and run to Frozen, and by the time we got off Remy, we kind of knew how long we had to do the other rides, and we decided together we were going to skip Frozen because the wait time was too long, and if we waited, we wouldn't have been able to finish Mission Space, Spaceship Earth, some of the rides that wouldn't be backed up. Yeah, so we didn't actually close out Epcot. We missed Frozen. But so we did Remy, and then about that time it was time for extended hours. And during the extended hours, we were able to get everything done. I think after Remy, we went and did the Three Caballeros over there, and then we went and did Spaceship Earth, Mission Space, Nemo. Funny enough, Soaring also held us up a little bit. There was not a long wait at that point. It was pretty late then, but there was an issue boarding. And so those are the kind of things with this kind of a challenge that just come up and you just kind of, okay. So Soaring held us up a little bit. It took a while, but we were still able to get to everything else. And we ended with Guardians of the Galaxy because we didn't buy an individual lightning lane, but we knew the rule that as long as you get in line a minute before the park closes, it doesn't matter how long the line is. And so that's how we ended the night.
That's what I was gonna say. I was hoping you guys end up with Guardians because I mean, you really kind of need to end with like a bang. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like after all this, like the day going here, there, and everywhere, like that's how it really needs to end at Epcot. Like spinning around.
That's my favorite ride too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that had to be it. So, I mean, that was your second attempt. So what was the final tabulation of how many you got done and how many were available to you that day?
So that day, I think there were 49. Yeah, 49 open operating rides, and that's including like Carousel of Progress. It's even including the Main Street vehicles and Magic Kingdom, and we were able to complete 42 of them. That's a lot. We missed 7. We missed everything in Animal Kingdom except Flight of Passage, and then we missed Frozen. Otherwise, we got them all done.
That's amazing. So
we were so excited.
So, because you guys were kind of together after this, like, what were the conversations after? I mean, obviously lots of high fives. Congratulations. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment, but there's probably a little thirst to try to go after it. You know, I don't know, like maybe that's me. Like, dude, 42 out of 49. There's a 43 hanging out there someday. Like, I don't know. Like, what's the conversation been like after?
Well, we want to try it again. We know that I think about a year ago, not this past May, but the May before, the two brothers, they've done this a couple of times and they're successful. What's really funny to us is we knew exactly the places where we could have had more time, like the weird traffic jam going into Magic Kingdom or to Bay Lake, and then the rain that held us up just a little bit. But then there's other places where we're like, I don't know how we could have done this faster without running from ride to ride, which I guess is a little bit frowned upon.
Yeah, it is.
Unless you're in the race. So
yeah, exactly.
So we'd love to do it again. It would be really good to find the day where they're open the longest. You know, the night we picked, Epcot had extended hours until 11. But if they ever came back and something was open till 1 a.m. again, okay, that would be a great time. The more hours you have in the day, the better your chances are. We
Yeah.
probably need to try it again before they open all the new stuff over in Magic Kingdom.
That's true. Yeah, this will take a whole nother level. You guys need
Yeah.
to bring back that 24-hour day on the leap day whenever they do
Yes.
that again. I mean, that would have
Yes.
been
I,
that'd have
I
been your
never
jam.
did that, but I
I
would
go to
love
bed.
to.
I go to bed at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. There's no way. Like I saw people looked like they were having fun. They were faking. Come on now. Like
Yeah.
I've tried to stick it out I've been in the Magic Kingdom to 3 a.m. and I was this was 20 years ago, and it was hard then. There's no way I could do that now. There's just, I mean,
Yeah.
I love going to the theme parks, but come on now. There's just,
Get tired.
because there's no tired like theme park tired. Were you guys? I mean, you guys had to have been exhausted at the end of this thing, right? I mean, like
Yes.
it's all adrenaline until you walk off Guardians. You guys are probably like,
Was.
oh, get me back to
Yeah.
Bay Lake, right?
After the first time we did it, we tracked 21 miles that day on our
Oh,
first attempt.
oh my
It
gosh.
was it was crazy. My daughter actually did not feel good at the end of the night on the first attempt. So when we were planning this time, we were like, okay, we have to figure out how to eat better, because we didn't eat much that first time. So I don't think we did much better this time, but we definitely had more snacks in the car. And then because of the rain in Magic Kingdom, we were able to go to like the Friar's Nook or something.
Mhm.
And we definitely had a good snack in the middle of the day. And then we hit up a few Joffrey stands in the other parks to get coffee and maybe a donut
I
or
was saying,
something not
I was
coffee.
gonna say a pink donut would keep me going for a few hours for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And so I think this time we only did 18 miles,
Oh,
and we
only.
got more rides in. But I think part of it was skipping Animal Kingdom because the rest of
It's
that park is
huge.
so
It's huge.
it's
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
And it's
So
hard on your feet. That part, because it's got that groove, that pavement's
mhm.
like uneven. That part, because just running through that park tears my feet up. I know I
Yeah,
sound like I'm
yeah,
90. I'm like Methuselah. No kidding. It's terrible. Okay,
yeah,
so amazing. First of all, congratulations from all of us. And when you do it again, we got to talk again. But I kind of want to shift gears here the last couple of
okay,
minutes of the show because you talk
yeah,
about running, and I mean, 21 miles on one attempt of this, 18 miles another attempt. I mean, this is crazy stuff. But you have run the Dopey Challenge before, back in I think 22. You said it was also your first marathon. You're going to be running the Dopey Challenge again here in January, so I'm excited to get to see you with all of our lizard friends. We're getting into the race season. We just had Wine and Dine last weekend, a couple of weekends back. Congratulations, everybody who just ran that. I'm getting all excited because I saw everybody running again. To get everybody's excitement level amped up even more, do you have a memory from your first marathon down at Walt Disney World, and also just Dopey? I mean, what do you remember that got you super excited about that experience of your first Dopey Challenge, or crossing that finish line for your first 26.2 down at Walt Disney World?
Uh, it was, I don't know. Some people finish the marathon and are like, never again. We finished and I was like, I got to do this more. Like it was amazing. I think one of the things I remember about Dopey is I ran it with my very best friends and two of their husbands. And during the marathon, one of my best friends and I, we were not running it for time. We said we want to have as much fun on the course as possible. And so I think we did over 13 or something character stops, but our plan was to try to run a little faster in the beginning so that we had time at the end to ride Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster during the marathon. So we did like 13 character stops. We rode both of those rides. We got our drink before we crossed the finish line. And then right around mile, I think 25 and a half, we didn't even have a mile left to go. We had been tracking our other best friend and her husband, and we realized they had caught up with us and maybe were 20 or so minutes behind us. So we stopped at the 26-mile marker and just waited for them with our drink in hand. They ran up to us, and then we all crossed together.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you that, like, one last little thing, like advice you have, but I mean, that's kind of great advice because we have, you always have folks that are going to be doing this for the first time in January. And
Yeah.
it's so hard to, if it's a first time going down to Walt Disney World, because it's so fun, but it's also kind of intimidating, especially if it's your first
Mhm.
marathon, because it is a great distance.
Right.
There's it's highs and lows. I try to tell people that, because walk or running and going down Main Street is incredibly emotional. Like, you can't believe it till you see it. Everybody's cheering you on. You see you're running directly at the castle. You're going through the castle 5 minutes later, but then you're out on World Drive, a half hour later, and it seems lonely. You're heading out towards Animal Kingdom. It's desolate. But then you're back in a theme park. It's like it's a roller coaster throughout the entire experience. But it's like you say, when you get to the finish line, there's no better feeling. But I love your philosophy, right? It's the journey, it's the people you're
Yeah.
with. And like I did it with Scott. My best dopey ever was the one I did with Paige and Scott. We just I can't say we had the greatest time on the marathon. Scott got he got shin splints. He actually had a stress fracture. We found out he was in a
Oh,
boot the next day.
wow.
Paige was screaming at me at the end. I was like, we're not stopping. We're finishing. Like we were like the Three Stooges there, like after mile 20. But
Right.
I love those two, like nobody else on the planet. Like, Scott's like my brother, Paige is my daughter. But man, we were a hot mess the last 6 miles. I just kept telling Scott, I said, dude, just stop at every medical tent and rub some of that biofreeze on there. We're gonna get there. I'm like, it can't be that bad. Find out he had a stress fracture. He wasn't playing. But it's one of those things, like, until you do, like, you go through that with somebody, and all those experiences, it is something that bonds you. It's a memory.
Yes.
So are you,
Yes.
what's your plan for this year in January? Running with folks, or what are you doing?
Yes, we're all going back. But only I'm doing the dopey, and then my best friend's husband's doing the dopey. The rest of them are doing various races. Some just the 5 and the 10K. So I haven't exactly decided. I think it'll be my 4th marathon. I did just the marathon last year, not dopey, just the Disney marathon. And then I actually ran New York after my first dopey. So
Nice.
I kind of want to try to run this marathon for time, but that's hard in dopey because you've just done 3 other races, right?
Yes.
So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. But um,
So
yeah,
with,
I think my biggest piece of advice to people if it's their first dopey is don't try to run for time. Like, it's 4 races in a row, so just have fun with them.
but I do, I agree with you. Plus, your two friends that are just doing the 5 and the 10K are the smartest people in the room, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, they agree. Sure.
They're the most disciplined because they got on there and just signed up for the shorter races, and they're going to have way more. They're going to be able to actually be vertical on Monday, but that's
Yes.
okay. They'll enjoy the plane ride home a lot more than I will. Um, so, but you mentioned something that I always do, and this is just me, and it's take it or leave it. But I do go out on marathon day a little bit, and some people say take it. I always read the strategies: take it easy at the beginning because you get excited. When it's dark, I tend to go out hard until the sun comes up, because that marathon gets hot a lot of times once the sun comes up. So my strategy has always been get going until the sun comes up. And then once the sun comes up, you can slow down because it's going to get hot quick. And so that's always been what I do on Sunday. And I have
Yeah, I
tired
think
legs
that's a
anyway.
good strategy.
Just something to
Last
think
year
about.
was chilly, but the first year I did it, that was a hot year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty hot. So that's a good strategy. Running in the dark when it's cool is perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I've run in, I think I've done 10 or 11 of them. And it's like, I've had it freezing, I've finished with like I've had the throwaway stuff. Some of them I finished with the stocking cap and gloves and tights still on. And some of them, like say, shorts and t-shirt, and you're just dying and can't stand it. But yeah, it's like, man, when I know it's going to be hot, I just like, oh man, get as much done under
Right.
the darkness as you can. Cause once that sun comes
Yeah,
out, it gets humid and hot
absolutely.
in Florida. So, well,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you down there, and I hope the training goes well here in the next couple of months, and we'll all stay healthy and be ready to run. And holy smokes, like 9 weeks, not long.
Yeah. Oh,
I know.
yeah.
I should have said
Stepped
that.
up.
It's crazy. All right, Amanda, thanks for coming on the show. What an adventure, and I'm sure a lot of folks are going to try to take this on. What a great way to see Walt Disney World with friends and family.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. All right. Don't forget, today's podcast always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure. Get down there and do something crazy like this. I mean, you could do dopey and run 48.6 miles. Jeez, I can't remember how far it is. Or you could just, see all the theme parks in a day and do 21 on your feet, walk it around. I mean, Who says theme parks are for, this is for active people. You got to be ready. Get those sneakers out and have fun. We'll help you plan it. Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Line. Disney Cruise Line, that's the place to go. You just sit on a lounger on deck 4 and watch the world go by. Just do that. That's way easier on your feet. We'll take care of you. Just go over to themagicforless.com this week. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link as you do that shopping this holiday season. Just bookmark our link there. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Please click through there. Anytime you do that shopping, it supports the show. Thank you so much for that. And you can become a patron of the show. It's just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. We'd love your support. Thanks to everybody who does that already. Again, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can give me a follow on the social media at beourguestmike. You can check out, I know this isn't Disney, but you can check out the video of our Francis Howell cheerleaders winning state. That video has over 25,000 views right now. It's crazy. I don't know, because what it is, it's the emotional toll that cheer takes on a cheer dad. You hear my raw emotions. I didn't even know I was talking at the time. You hear me go, oh, here it comes. Because I didn't know if we were going to win or not. It just came out. And then you hear just the raw emotion when we win. It is wild. So just go over to Be Our Guest Mike on Instagram. You can see that video. It's about 10 down. And you can follow me also on x.com and Threads at Be Our Guest Mike. Also, come over to the Clubhouse. It's free for everybody. It's our Discord server. It's our live message board. It's so much fun. beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. Your invitation's waiting there for you. And join us Sunday night for the live call-in show. We open up the phone lines, talk Disney with you. You're on the show live. Join us Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Scott joins me. We take your calls. Ton of fun. We'll see you Sunday night. All right, that's it. So for Amanda down in North Carolina, I'm Mike here in Missouri, wishing you a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.